What up, boxing fans? It's your boy Lalo from Lalo's Boxing.
And this is Freddie from Box Talk 101.
And this is the hottest boxing podcast. Yee! All right, what's up, my boy Fred, man? We got some boxing talk to do, man. There's a lot of great news coming up. We can talk about this recent fight with Caleb Plant versus the other Caleb Traux or something like that. What's your thoughts about it, man?
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, man. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed, man. I'm a little disappointed because there's a lot of talks in that weight class, with Canelo, with Benavidez, with Caleb Plant. And I feel like with this performance, Caleb Plant left a lot to be desired. And now, it was kind of like those three guys in the mix. And now, for me, it's kind of like, oh, well, it's really only down to Canelo and Benavidez.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Same, man. I wasn't impressed at all by Caleb Plant, man. I don't think he's entertaining that much, in my personal opinion. He got soft hands at the end of the fight. He said, there's some hand injuries. And, I mean, he was going up against a ranked 39-40 fighter in the world. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't even take him out. And he was also hella old, too, like around 37 or something like that. So a fighter like that, you got to take him out. I mean, Anthony Darrell, fought Truex and got him out the first or second round. So, Darrell made a statement. And that's the guy Benavidez, knocked out. Stop.
Yeah.
I mean, Styles makes fights and shit, but like you said, man, Plant left hella unanswered questions and shit.
I just feel like, okay, we understand Caleb Truex is 37. So I don't think a lot of people really expected Caleb Truex to win, right?
Hell no.
And I know maybe the people that were like trying to hype this fight up were like, oh, okay, well, he's going to put up a good fight, et cetera, et cetera. But really, let's call it what it was. Caleb Plant, this was supposed to be a fight where Caleb Plant was supposed to show out. And that didn't happen, unfortunately.
Hell no, man. He was supposed to, in my opinion, he was supposed to knock this dude the fuck out, but he couldn't even do that.
That's exactly what was supposed to happen. And I found it kind of funny how at the end of the fight, they're interviewing Caleb Plant, and he says literally, you can quote me, he said, "You line him up, I'll knock him down." And I'm like, dude, you didn't knock down Caleb Truex, who's 37 years old.
Yeah, man. So, that statement that he made, that shit was all bullshit, man. I call him Mr. Cap for that one, man. I know Benavidez, want all the smoke with Caleb Plant, man. He been calling him out and shit like that. Even the Pops, his trainer, Benavidez' trainer, they've been doing a lot of trash talking. They see something, that Benavidez can capitalize on. But now, I don't see Plant fighting Benavidez before he get the Canelo fight. He's going to try to get that payday. And, that Benavidez fight might not happen. I mean, because if it happens, Benavidez, could upset Caleb Plant, which I think he, will fucking knock him out. In my opinion, I think Benavidez got all the tools and, the aggressive style and, come forward, throw a lot of punches. And I think he'll beat Plant. So, it's a risky fight for Plant to take right before Canelo. That's why I don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. It's too risky and with really no reward because, okay, let's say he fights Benavidez. What does Benavidez have to offer him? Nothing. Benavidez doesn't have a belt. And the risk in that is if you lose, not only do you lose your belt, but you lose that huge opportunity of making a nice payday against Canelo because if you lose, do you think Canelo is going to want to fight Caleb Plant? No, he's not.
Hell no. And in that fight, man, I see Canelo stopping Plant. I mean, just by his last performance by Plant.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, he was supposed to knock out, Truex, but I think he knocked me out, put me to sleep by that boring ass fight. I was not entertained at all, man. I was disappointed. I fell asleep a couple times, but I woke back up and shit. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, man, I wasn't too happy with Plant's performance, man. He got to do something about it. He got to go back to the drawing board, and I don't know if they could teach power or not, but I mean, you got to start knocking these cats out. Truex should not belong in the ring with Caleb Plant at all.
Yeah, so, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. It's funny, you know what? Because I said, yeah, I want to do this podcast thing with Lalo. I think it's a great idea. We both know what we're talking about. and I think I would make a good rival to, Lalo's Boxing, Box Talk 101 versus Lalo's Boxing. But I actually have to agree with you on this topic, man. As much as I love to disagree with you and I love to argue with you, Lalo, I think we're on the same page on this one, and we were both a little let down by Caleb Plant.
Yeah, it's about time, man. Usually we always bump heads, go at it, debate and shit, man. But shit, sometimes, we got to agree and shit to disagree. But at the end of the day, man, we both, agreed to this. Plant's performance was trash and we weren't entertained. And fucking, there's a lot of fighters out there that I think could capitalize off this performance. Benavidez, fucking even a Charlo or Jacobs or something, like somebody in that caliber, fights Plant or something, Like I said, I wasn't impressed by his performance. But anyways, man, I know there's some fights coming up. What fights are you interested in seeing?
Yeah, you know what, man? I was looking at the schedule, and it's crazy because there's not really anything, not that sticks out to me anyways, as far as this weekend. Everything's kind of like 2 weeks away for the most part,
Correct.
But yeah, we got Jojo Diaz coming up against, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's name.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If not, you guys can Google it. But Jojo Diaz will be defending his belt 2 weeks from now, the IBF 130-pound belt. So there's that. There's also Patrick. I can't pronounce his last name either. The 154 champ, the WBO champ, will defend against Brian Carlos Castano.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight, in 2 weeks. Because, the winner of that fight, I would like the winner to fight Charlo, and then they could be another undisputed champ and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know the other dude, Brian Carlos Castellano, is with PBC, I believe, and Patrick is with Golden Boy. So, if Brian wins, we could see an undisputed, champion, in my opinion, because I don't think Golden Boy will, go for all the titles. I think Charlo's the king in that division, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think he just showed out on his last performance against that Dominican fighter. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah, knocked his ass out with a jab on the gut. I was iffy about that jab, but man, I don't even know, man. It is what it is. I mean, Charlo's a real deal, and I don't know, man. I think it's Charlo, man. He's making a lot of noise, man. I kind of want to put him on the top 10, man, on pound for pound, because I think he deserves it. He's been fighting quality opponents, and he got 3 out of the 4 titles. In my opinion, I don't know what you think about that. What do you think?
I think the same thing. I mean, I'm looking forward to this fight, but if I have to be completely honest, I don't see either of these guys beating Charlo.
Me either.
If I do see somebody beating Charlo at 154, it's between these 3 guys. I know Charlo. If let's say Charlo fights one of these guys, he's gonna win in my opinion, and then he would have all the belts. But really, I think the 2 guys that have the opportunity of beating him, or maybe the best chance anyways, are either Lara or Hurd. And I know they've been out of the picture for a little bit, but really for me, it's those 3 guys. Those 3 guys at the top. It's Charlo, Lara, and Hurd. And either of those 2 guys fight Charlo, and that's a good fight. Anybody else, I think they're just food.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And then we also got Joe Smith Jr. coming up.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I hate to say it because it's a championship fight, 175. But I'm more excited for the undercard, man. The undercard is a pretty good undercard.
Oh yeah, Marinas.
Yeah, Jackson Marinas versus Richard Comey. Who do you have in that?
Damn, I kind of want to lean with Jackson Marinas. I think his boxing skills would probably get him give Comey a little bit of problems, but Comey got power and he could fucking, if he lands one of the right hands, it could be over, because that's what he's good for, knocking people out. But Marinas, I think he got good boxing IQ, and we'll see, man. Who you got on that fight?
I'm kind of leaning towards Jackson Marinas as well. I mean, there's a lot of fights, obviously, on that weekend, 2 weeks from now. But that's probably the one that has me excited the most, just because it's a good fight. It's a 50-50. It's a toss-up. For the most part, with boxing, we can usually tell, who's going to win. This fight, it could go either way, man. It's 2 different styles, and it's gonna be interesting. And I want to see where the winner goes from here too.
Yeah, I agree, man. The winner could, easily, be a contender. I mean, these fighters are already contenders, but they could probably challenge for a title, next and something like that. They could be on the sweepstakes, for Teofimo Lopez or Haney or somebody in that caliber and shit. Somebody that holds the title, they could be next and shit. So this fight's really good. That's what I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, it's got me excited. I know there's some recognizable names on that same undercard as well. Adam Lopez versus Jason Sanchez. Then you got Xander Zayas, who's 6-0, is going to go up against James Martin, who's 6-1. So that should be a pretty good test for the up-and-comer too. But yeah, man, I think Richard Comey and Jackson Marina is it's a main event. Like, it's a main event, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to like diminish the main event of Joe Smith Jr., but Richard Comey and Jackson Marina, that fight has me excited.
Yeah, it should be for a title eliminator. Might put like a title eliminator or something, man. That's a good ass co-main event.
Yeah, it is.
So man, it's gonna be a good one. But I like Joe Smith Jr., man. I like his story though, man. He's a hard worker and shit. He does construction or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that I respect him because he does boxing and he also got a full-time job and shit. So I've been following his career ever since he knocked out B-Hop and shit out of the ring.
Literally knocked him out of the ring.
Yeah, then he also knocked out the dude that knocked out Kovalev for his last fight, I believe. Alvarez made the statement. That's why he got this opportunity. So I became a Joe Smith Jr. fan, so I'll be supporting him. Hopefully, he becomes champion, but we'll see because I've never seen the other dude fight. So it should be a good one as well. But besides that,
what's vacant? It's a vacant WBO belt. So yeah, winner then has their names up there. But and I hate to be the guy to be like, oh man, these guys don't belong, because like you said, Joe Smith Jr. is a very likable guy, normal 9-to-5 everyday guy, just like you and I. But he's gonna have a belt at 175, and who else is up there? You got, in my opinion, but yeah, Beterbiev and Beterbiev and Bivol. And I'm like, man,
fucking monster, bro.
Does he hang with these guys? I just think the caliber is just different.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know, man, because Joe Smith Jr. got power, man. That power he possesses is kind of crazy. I mean, but because one punch can change it all. But the other champions, Bivol and Beterbiev, they also got power, and they also got boxing IQ behind it. So it's gonna be tough, for him to be a champion up there when you got those two, monsters as well. But that's another fight that I want to see as well. Beterbiev versus Bivol. I think that's a huge fight at 175 and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about, like, for example, we just brought up Joe Smith Jr. and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if he's in the same category as these guys. But the one thing I will give him is, I think, at least from appearances, it looks like he's a good 175 pounder. Like, he's the right size for 175. And it's funny that the two guys at a top 175 and Beterbiev and Bivol, they look kind of small, to be honest. Like,
they do.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, what do you think about my boy Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao? He just said it's going to be a non-exhibition. It's a full 12 rounds.
I think it's great, man. To be honest, everybody who knows me knows I'm not the biggest Ryan Garcia fan, but it's a real fight, and I always assumed it was going to be a real fight. I don't know if it started from a Gervonta Davis tweet or where the rumor got started, but people started thinking this was going to be an exhibition fight. I never even considered that, to be honest, until people started talking about it so much, and then I'm like, okay, did I miss something? But no, it is going to be a real fight, at least from what your boy, Ryan Garcia, has told us. We still have yet to hear anything from the side of Manny Pacquiao. So I'm wondering if they're just being careful to not mess anything up in negotiations or what's going on. But so far, the only person that's mentioned anything is Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I agree, man. Pacquiao really hasn't said too much about it, or not even something. But I did read something about Manny Pacquiao saying, something about sunning Ryan Garcia or something like that. I forgot what article it was. I think it's from Boxing Scene. But anyways, Pacquiao really didn't say too much about it. Ryan Garcia just, speaking about it, and he wants this fight, and he's making it clear that, he even said, that he's gonna try to knock out Manny Pacquiao. Shit. I don't know if he could do that. You know, Manny's a fucking legend, a living legend in the boxing ring, and fuck, he fought everybody in his era.
I think it's great, man. To be honest, I like this fight. I like it a lot because it's so undefinitive, I guess. You know, it's like, okay, Manny Pacquiao is one of the greatest of all time, but he's also technically the bigger man, being a welterweight, but he's also technically not, because Ryan Garcia is actually a bigger guy than Manny Pacquiao. Even though he's a 135 pounder, like physically, he's a bigger guy than Manny Pacquiao. So there's that. And then there's the age. You know, Manny Pacquiao is 42 years old as of right now.
Correct. Hey, but we seen what he did to Keith Thurman at 41.
Yes. So, I don't know, man. Just the experience versus the youth, and like somebody who's maybe on their way out but still fighting at a top level. And it's just, I don't know, man. I think it's great. I think it's great for boxing, and I'm excited for it, man. I really am.
Yeah, to me, it's like the passing of the torch. Ryan Garcia beats Manny Pacquiao. That will put Ryan Garcia on the like superstar, world star level. It's like it's gonna be insane. I mean, he's already, you know, just alone off his social media, he's already a star, you know. But beating a living legend, you know, in the sport of boxing, that's gonna take him to the next level.
But I think we're all jumping to conclusions there. I think a lot of people are, because everybody, including myself, I've caught myself doing this, where we're like, oh man, this is gonna make Ryan Garcia, right? But what if Manny Pacquiao wins?
Correct. That's a good thing. You know, what if?
Because he can win. But he can win this fight.
Exactly. No, he can, but you know me. I'm rocking my boy. I don't think like that. I mean, I should, but nah. I mean, the fight is gonna be competitive because Manny Pacquiao, man, all-time fucking great fighter. And then, you know, like you said, you got the youth in Ryan Garcia. You know, the explosiveness, the quickness, the power. But I mean, shit, man. I'm all in for it, man. You know, whoever wins, I'll be okay with it, man. You know. If it's Manny Pacquiao, I'll be okay. You know, Manny Pacquiao still got it. You know, let's see what else he can do. You know, if he beat Ryan Garcia, you know, young fighter, hungry. You know,
I think a loss for Manny Pacquiao obviously would affect him a lot less. And you know, a Ryan Garcia win is maybe what most people expect. I just think it would turn the boxing world upside down, or at least the career of both of these guys, if Manny Pacquiao were to win, man. I just think that's like mind-blowing to everybody. If like, oh man, Ryan Garcia lost against Manny Pacquiao, you know, but like, don't count it out. It could happen.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But the thing about Ryan, man, at 135, he's not even a champion, but all these champions want to fight him. That's crazy. That's the crazy thing about it. You know, he got Tank on standby. You know, that's like Tank. He's not calling the shots. You know, Ryan Garcia, you know, was the one that called Tank out. And now he got him on standby because, you know, a bigger opportunity came, you know, with Manny Pacquiao. So far, that's what, you know, he's saying. But that's just the crazy thing about it, man. He's not a champion, and he got a champion on standby.
Now, Tank himself has not said this, but now I've seen people talking about how, oh, now Ryan Garcia did all this talking, calling out Tank Davis, and now he's ducking him. He's your boy. Is this a duck?
My personal opinion, hell no, man. You got to get your money, man. At the end of the day, he's a boxer. You know, you only lost. I mean, you only box for a short period of time. Get your bag and, you know, get the hell out of the sport before, you know, your health is on the line and shit. But nah, it's not a duck because, you know, either way, he wants Davis after this fight. You know, he mentioned it. He said it. He said, you know, if I beat Pacquiao, and if I beat Tank, that'll be the perfect year for 2021. So he's not, you know, ducking Tank. He's making it clear that he wants, you know, Tank in this year as well. So how it can't be a duck. What do you think, man? 'Cause I know you and Ryan, you know, it's not your favorite fighter.
Not my favorite fighter, but I don't think it's a duck either. I think Manny Pacquiao is a bigger fight, potentially a more dangerous fight. You know, Manny Pacquiao obviously has power. He has speed. He has. I think he's a better fighter than Tank. And you know, if we're being genuine. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's a duck. I think it's a bigger fight, and there's nothing wrong with it as long as Ryan does at some point go back to wanting that Gervonta Davis fight just because he asked for it so much, you know? I feel like, okay, you can't walk away now.
Not, yeah. I doubt he walks away, bro. There's no question why, you know, because me and him, you know, we ride each other and shit, and he tells me, you know, he want to knock out fucking Tank in 2 rounds. He believes it and shit. You know, style makes fights, but I mean, from what I see, from, you know, what he tells me, he wants that Tank fight no matter what, you know, even though, you know, this Manny Pacquiao fight presented itself first for him, he still wants Tank. So, I mean, the Tank fight, it's a big ass fight too for Ryan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge, bro. Both of these guys, Tank and Ryan, you know, they sell tickets. They fucking their viewerships are, you know, are going up every time they perform in the ring, and you know they bring out the fans. So I mean, but the thing is, we're in a pandemic as well. So you know, there's a limit how many fans they can bring into a stadium and shit. But man, it's a fight that, you know, we got to see, man, because it's a big ass fight in my opinion. Like I'm saying,
yeah, I think Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao, for me, toss up fight, and so is Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. I feel like both of those are 50-50. And if Ryan really goes through with these fights, man, that would be incredible for him, for his career, and for the fans. I think those are great fights for the fans.
Yeah, I agree, man. Another thing that I noticed, the WBA put Manny Pacquiao in recess, champion of recess,
champion
like
in recess, and they elevated Yordenis Ugas to the WBA super champion, which was the belt that Pacquiao had.
Correct.
So I don't know. I like it because obviously Pacquiao hasn't fought in a while, and I feel like it's been a long time coming for Ugas, man. I've seen him fight in person. This guy's lost some close fights. Some of them were, you know, in my opinion, controversial. I thought he should have got the nod for some of those fights that were counted as losses on his record. And I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him. Also, what I like is that he's not just going to take that championship belt and sit on it. As soon as he got it, he started talking, okay, Errol Spence, let's do this, you know? And I think that's great, man. I think that's great for boxing, to have a champion that wants to put the belt on the line and fight the best, fight the other guys that are considered the best, you know?
Correct. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. He is a new WBA super champion, so Errol Spence, I believe that'll be the next fight at 147, and hopefully the winner don't duck my boy Terrence Crawford, man.
Nobody's ducking Terrence Crawford. Nobody's ducking Terrence Crawford.
My boy Terrence Crawford will all the smoke, man, but they don't want to fight him, man. They trying to say he's across the street.
He is across the street.
All that shit, man. But it's all good.
He is across the street, and he's very scared to jaywalk. Like, just come on over, bro. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Man, he said that, I could paraphrase what he said. He said something that Errol Spence gonna be remembered as the fighter that ducked Terrence Crawford, man. And I agree with him, man, because Terrence Crawford been, you know, wanting this fight for a long time. He pulled up on Spence a couple times, and they even made a bet, you know, of knocking each other out or whoever wins or something like that. And Terrence Crawford is just confident and he wants all the smoke, man. But for some reason, your boy Errol Spence, man, he rather, you know, ride horses or, you know, buy more cows and chickens and all that for his farm. So
hey, we all know Errol Spence is not the talker. He's not. That's just not what he does. Terrence Crawford can talk a big game, but is he backing it up? Is he backing it up when he fights the likes of Kell Brook and Amir Khan and whoever else?
But you got to get what you could, you know, what you can, man. I mean, no other fighters want to step in. Now all of a sudden,
because he isolated himself. He isolated himself when he signed with Top Rank. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I mean, he did it, but I mean, he still want all the smoke, even though he signed. You know, he's available to fight anybody, and there shouldn't be no barriers or no cross the street or nothing like that, man. He's a world champion. Errol Spence said once you become champion, you know they can get it on. What happened?
What happened is they're not making good offers over there. They're not making good offers over there. You heard about the Sean Porter offer, right?
Yeah, Errol Spence couldn't keep the same energy, man. So I mean,
if they're not willing to pay Sean Porter a decent price, do you think they're gonna want to pay Errol Spence a good price? Or
I don't know how much they offered, you know, these fighters, man. But whatever.
Okay,
man.
Look, do you know how much Kell Brook made for fighting Terence Crawford?
I can't recall, to be honest, but I mean, Kell
Yeah.
Brook got a big following, especially in the UK. So he brings viewerships. He brings fans from the UK and all. So I don't know how much he made though, but go ahead.
I think he was offered. I think it was 2. It might have been 3 million, but it was 2. I'm pretty sure. Amir Khan got 5 million for fighting Terence Crawford, and when they started
you
talking to
understand
Sean,
why Amir Khan got 5 million though, right?
of course.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
But following or not, that's a fighter who is really, really. Let's be honest, he wasn't a threat.
of course not. I mean, I think he's already over the hill, but in my opinion, like I said, he brings viewerships. He brings in the Indian fans. Or Punjabi. I forgot what he is, but yeah, he brings in all those fans, Middle Eastern fans, and the UK fans, and so all that, he deserves some money. I mean, he was a big name.
But 5 million, and they offered Sean Porter 1 million, a former champion at 147. Amir Khan isn't a former champion at 147.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I just think. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Terence Crawford for saying that he wants the fights. Maybe he does. But he knows. I think he knows very well that Bob Arum is getting in the way of that, and I think that's obviously why there's some cracks there in that relationship. With them going back and forth, where Bob Arum's talking about how Terence Crawford, him promoting Terence Crawford is making him go bankrupt and this and that. Like, okay, then just let him go, man. Just let him go. I think the best move for everybody right now is for Terence Crawford to go over to PBC or just do his own thing. Do his own thing if he can. If he really thinks he could sell like that, for example, like somebody like Canelo, right, who did it. Somebody like Floyd Mayweather who broke away from Top Rank and did his own thing. Everybody's done it. Oscar De La Hoya did it.
Manny Pacquiao
started his own thing. Everybody, and they made more money. And if Terence Crawford feels that confident in his ability to draw a crowd, then he should do the same thing. I just feel like you can't put this on Spence, man. I'm sorry, you can't put this on Spence. You can't put this on Al Heyman. They're making money over there. They're making good fights. And, the odd man out is Terence Crawford.
Yeah, I understand. Probably they will, split up. Because I believe this is Terence Crawford's last year with Top Rank. I think his contract expires in the fall. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But
I think I heard the same thing.
That's the fight that, we got to see. Hopefully your boy don't duck Crawford, even if he go to PBC. Because, that'll make him look bad now.
I don't know, man. I just think Terence Crawford's gotta up the ante somehow, because Spence was asking 60-40, and that was with 2 belts over 1, and now he's gonna have 3 when he beats Yordenis Ugas. He's gonna have all the cards on his side. So
yeah, that sounds
I don't know.
Way out. That sounds like he don't want to fight Crawford. That's what it sounds like. I think Crawford deserves more than 60-40. I think he deserves 50-50 or it could be both 45, and the winner gets the 10%. Make it fair or something.
Yeah, I like that last one. I don't know how it works with negotiations, but I do know that if I was Errol Spence, I would ask for more. Yeah, I would want to be the A side. I wouldn't want to be the favorite.
I mean, true. If you're right. Anybody would, but I mean, Terence Crawford. He's a 3-division world champ, undisputed champ, and he's also a champion at 147. So I mean, you can't knock him out. You can't come out of him foul with a 60-40 or some, BS.
I don't think that's foul. I think that's fair. Because Terence Crawford's legacy is not at 147. You want to talk about how Terence Crawford said Errol Spence will be remembered as somebody who ducked him. Well, Terence Crawford's legacy will always be Yuriorkis Gamboa. His legacy will be that and being undisputed at 140. But his legacy won't be remembered for fighting at 147.
Because nobody wanted to fight him.
Because they don't have anybody at Top Rank, and that's nobody's fault but Terence Crawford.
Yeah, another thing is, Crawford. I'm thinking that the best move is leave Top Rank, fight Errol Spence. But if that
I agree.
happen, Errol Spence will be remembered as a fighter who ducked Crawford.
No. They got to make that fight happen, because I know Errol Spence wants some more chickens, some more horses, some more pigs on his farm, and beating up Terrence Crawford will get him a nice payday.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, man. But man, it's a lot of great fights, man. Shit, that's one of the great fights that we got to see this by the end of this year. Another undisputed.
Hopefully.
Teofimo, is undisputed right now. Okay, do you consider Teofimo undisputed?
Absolutely, and I know Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC, has confirmed that. But whether he had confirmed it or not, in my opinion,
he's still
Teofimo Lopez was already undisputed. Yeah, now there's no debating it because the man himself, the guy who has these multiple belts out there in Mauricio Suleiman, he said it himself.
Yeah,
he confirmed, yes, Teofimo is undisputed. So really, there's no debate about it. But whether he had said it or not, I mean, come on, man, he did it. He was undisputed before we even had that confirmation.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of haters saying that he wasn't undisputed, but nah, Mauricio put the nail in the coffin. He is undisputed, but Errol Spence got a chance to go undisputed. He's almost there. He got 2 belts left. Next fight that might be undisputed is my boy Ramirez and Josh Taylor, man. And that's gonna be a good one. It's looking like May at the MGM, so I'm looking forward to that fight. It's gonna be a great fight in my opinion. So probably we could see another undisputed champion. Soon.
There's a lot of potential fights where guys could become undisputed as long as the right fights get made. I know we talked about Jermell Charlo, and now we're talking Ramirez. We obviously just mentioned Teofimo Lopez. And then I don't know, welterweight's kind of like, it's close, but not exactly. So we'll see what happens with Spence and Crawford, but that could be another weight class where we see an undisputed.
That's true, man. But yeah, man, this was a good podcast, man, for a first time, man. Let the fans know where they can follow you at, bro.
Yeah, man, first time doing this together. It was fun. We're hoping to continue with this. We're hoping to keep it going. It's not perfect, we're still trying to work out the kinks in this, but I appreciate everybody who listened to the podcast and was with us here till the end. You guys can follow me at Box Talk 101 on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I'm there. And yeah, man, just keep tuning in, and we'll keep trying to bring you, the best boxing debates. Like I said, me and Lalo love to argue. We don't argue on everything, but sometimes we get some good conversations going.
Yeah, that's true, man. Y'all know where y'all can follow me at. Lalo's Boxing on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that. So, man, this is our first podcast together, and we'll be, continuing and bringing more podcasts, hopefully every week or so. But hopefully y'all, tune in. Y'all like it. And subscribe, to our YouTube channel. So we're going to go from one episode on Box Talk 101 channel, then the other episode we're gonna bring back to my channel. So make sure y'all subscribe to both YouTube pages.
Check it, yeah. Y'all gotta check out the both of the YouTube channels, because like Lalo mentioned, one episode will be on my channel, the following episode will be on his, and vice versa, and that's how we're gonna keep it going. So yeah, just bear with us a little bit. Again, we're trying to work out the kinks. So
all right, man. So we're gonna wrap things up. Appreciate everybody supporting us, and this is the hottest boxing podcast. Yee!